Building skills.
Building homes.
Building community.
In summer of 2020, the town of Detroit, Oregon was largely destroyed during the Beachy Creek Fire. This fire decimated thousands of structures and burned nearly 200,000 acres. Recovery has been ongoing, and the community is rebuilding towards a more resilient future.
I don't think there's been a typical day since Labor Day weekend of 2020 when the first fire hit. Most people forgotten that actually Detroit got hit 2 nights in a row by 2 separate fires. What the first fire didn't get, the second one did. 90% of our town went to the ground those 2 nights. I think to me resilience is about how are you going to react to something that really devastates your community or your home. Or in our case, resilience, I think, started with the day after the fire. How can you work with each other, make the lines of communication smoother? Can we come up with, we're going to be moving faster in terms of how we work with each other. Things are going to change in a situation like this, and I don't care if it's your home going down or a whole community going down, it's going to be different. And so you have to decide, maybe going into it or coming out of it very, very quickly, are you going to let it beat you, or are you just going to use that, we're going to come back and be just a little bit better than we were. One, we need people to be involved. And I think that starts with middle school, high school, maybe even grade school kinds of kids, in terms of how does government work? What are the needs? Because right now I think people just, well, it's the government, they should know what to do.
Mayor Jim Trett's request that the next generation gets it more involved is already happening. In Salem, iBuild is a summer program for high schoolers and young adults who are earning college credit and building housing for local communities. These students are not only achieving academic credit and employability skills, but helping those people affected by fires and homelessness. This program's success is credited to the Salvation Army Kroc Center, partnering with Team Oregon Build and local public schools in the Salem School District.
Currently our timeline is 8 weeks. Every 4 weeks we build 6 sheds, so altogether we are building 12.
Even though it's just 12 houses, you know, it's not like we're doing like a huge amount of people. It still makes a difference. The impact for one person is still great, because every person's life, you know, like has a meaning and has its own importance, you know.
So these sheds, once they're completed, are going to go to a homeless camp for people to live in. Currently, they are being built up to code for about 2 people in each of them. I think that's really exciting. We get to make a big impact on people's lives.
Resilience is, to me, the community's ability to come together to find solutions to meet needs. In this case, it's for the victims of fire around the state. It's for our houseless folks around the state, in particular in our community, serving the homeless. But that resilience component is the ability to come together as a community to make these things happen. And we've shown that we can do it. We can do it with young people, and we can do it at scale. I think as an individual, if somebody's watching this video thinking, well, how do I get engaged in that? What I would suggest is that you find an organization that's doing the work, and you engage with that organization and pour yourself into it. And what you'll experience is getting back something greater than you ever thought you could receive, because you're a part of something that's bigger than yourself in your own community.
So Ready is a regional economic development agency in Jackson and Josephine counties. Their work is with the business community. During the pandemic and tragic fires of 2020, their involvement grew as they sought to help businesses regain their footing, maintain their workforce, and grow despite the turbulent economy.
It's hard when it's a bad day, right, and disaster strikes, and we went through some of that just in the last few years, pandemic and then also the fires. And what we were able to do, because we're an economic development district, we were able to provide grant administration through all the jurisdictions who had funds to deploy funds directly to businesses during the pandemic. And that was close to $7 million in a very short period of time. We were able to take existing staff and pivot them to become grant administrators, to interface with businesses, to vet out grant applications and make sure they got dollars as quickly as possible. And then during the pandemic, pretty much the same story. We hired a disaster liaison to go out and see and try to find the businesses that were impacted to see what the next step would be for them. We did get some dollars out, but it's still a long road to recovery for those who were impacted by the fires. Well, resilience for us is actually simply having the infrastructure, having an agency ready to respond with a sufficient staff capacity. We're 5 or 6 people on any given day, and so just having the human resources and capacity on hand to respond and pivot quickly is what resilience means for us already. It's a lot about planning ahead and anticipating, but being sure that they have a skilled workforce in particular, because the business community is what drives our economy. Without the businesses and the jobs and the capital investments and the services they provide, we don't have everything else we need in a community.